pray for you at this moment, Moray. The hand of God will come upon you. You will run faster than Elijah. You will run faster than your fictitious role model, Barry Allen. And while you run, you will never be naked. You will never be perceived as naked. You will never be actually naked. In the name of Jesus. It is my pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to the book launch of Moray Afolabi Brown. The book is titled Becoming the Queen of Talk TV, and to celebrate her 10 years on TV. I appreciate every one of you for all the effort, the contributions, the support you have given to make this event worth our while. Thank you so very much. Your kindness and generosity will never go unrewarded. And it is my prayer that whenever you have something worthwhile to do, we will be there to join you, to support you, and to celebrate with you. Thank you very much. My name is Afolabi Brown. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, can we put our hands together for Mr. Femi Afolabi Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to have the keynote address that will be delivered by a very distinguished personality in our midst. Ladies and gentlemen, she's a woman known for administrative capacities. She's a woman who made it an envy of so many states across the country and a standard for so many to emulate, not just with mattress. Can we please put our hands together for her and make it louder as she speaks at this time? Thank you.
Thank you for coming. And I must, of course, acknowledge the wonderful author and her husband and her family. I acknowledge the presence of everybody here. I acknowledge my colleague on the Cabinet of Lagos State, Mrs. Toke Benson Awoyinka. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. I hope we'll have a great time here. And I'll try and be brief, but it's not going to be very easy. First of all, I must thank Moray. Moray, thank you. I'm honored to be asked to speak. And many of you will be wondering, where on earth, right, is she inviting me because I was the Commissioner for Education or what? No. I've known Moray since she was like a 5 or 6 year old girl. We lived opposite each other in a place called Ifako Bagada, where her mother lived until she passed on, for those of us who know her well at home. We lived across the road. We were tenants in the building across the road. And I saw this little girl in her red and white Corona uniform for the first time. If you've been here a while and you've seen some of the videos played, they talked about her loneliness. I thought she was an only child because she was there in the house with her mom and dad and nobody else. I didn't know that her brothers had grown and left the home many years before we became neighbors. And so I totally understood it when he said she was lonely. She was. And I always used to see her playing by herself. And here I must acknowledge, and I don't know, I hope they will hear me somewhere, but the neighbors, the tenants, her mother's tenants, Mr. and Mrs. Adeshokon. Mr. Adeshokon is late now, known as Desho. They took this girl as their daughter because they had only boys. So there we were in a very nice enclave. And many years later, I saw her again. And I knew her immediately. She had hardly changed. And from then on till now, I don't know, our relationship has just grown bigger and bigger. When I became the commissioner, she came to me and said, I want to work with you. She actually worked in my office for like 3.5 years without any pay. She used to come in after the view and volunteer. She taught me many things. She's very fashionable, as you can see. I am not. And she was able to help me many times. This is what you do your hair, do this, do that. She was very, and that was just a minor part of everything. But because she was also involved whenever we were brainstorming about solutions, brainstorming about what next action to take, brainstorming about what was most suitable for the state. In fact, everything we did, she was heavily involved. MC at our events, again free of charge. So I thank you, Moray, and I ask you to please help me thank her by giving her a wonderful round of applause. She was in my office almost every day, and there were times, maybe once a week or twice a week, after we had watched her on the video. It was always uncanny to see her because you would have seen her in that dress. And then here she would come in that dress again. And of course, she introduced me to her lovely husband. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm a member of their family. And their lovely children as well. So I'm so happy to be here today. I thank you. I feel honored. I thank you. God bless you. She could have called anybody, but she remembered this old auntie living across the road. So what are we celebrating here today? I will start by talking about her parents, because I think you must always talk about somebody's antecedents. Where did this girl come from? First of all, her mother, who is the only woman who I have accepted my husband describing as very beautiful in my presence. I don't think it's easy for you to hear your husband say, you're fine, kilo day. But I accepted that because it was absolutely true. A beautiful woman, kind, compassionate. She lived across from us, and she was also a confidant to me at times I had problems where I was living. Her father, who we know was one of Nigeria's greatest and best. And I felt honored to be living across the road from Alao Akabashon, who was an activist. And you know how he was in Beko, in the days of Fela, Beko, and so on. He was such a great activist. And I think my husband allowed me also to say I thought he was one of the most handsome men I had ever seen. So when a handsome man marries a beautiful woman, I think we know what will result. What is the result of that kind of union? So you can see the physical beauty in Moray. But she's way, of course, more than that. Physical beauty is wonderful. It's the first thing you see. It's impactful, it's great. And she's all that and more. But you know that there's a lot more to her than the physical beauty. There's intelligence, there's wit, there's compassion, there's elegance, there's a spirit of excellence, and it's all this that we are celebrating today. 10 years of that remarkable program. What does the title of the book launch say? 10 years Talk TV. Moray, you can imagine how it is for someone like me to see that young girl who actually had to ask me when I had a baby that, where is this baby from? How did you arrive at carrying this baby? And I had to explain that I had a big tummy some months ago and I'm now flat. Well, can you imagine that girl? You now see her, a distinguished, accomplished, beautiful woman. This, and like I said, it's not just all those things. It's how she has been strong enough to speak her truth. She was the first girl and was always celebrated as the first head girl. So right from that time, she had been showing signs of leadership, of excellence, of dynamism, even among her peers. And so today we are celebrating these 10 years. And I looked down and said, what has she been doing? She has given women a voice. So that it's not just women doing. And the president of this country. Of course, her father was ill for many years before he passed on. And the president was one of the few people who supported her mother through thick and thin. And she was not ready to forget that. Again, loyalty. In the face of a lot of criticism. In fact, I don't know how she coped with it. Of being judged. And of people not understanding. without knowing why you are doing what you are doing. Thank you for your loyalty. God bless you. So in all of these 10 years, they've created many pathways for many women. You would not be able to cope with that. Why are you saying this? Well, people are laughing at me in the club. People are laughing at me and saying things. But I think Femi Afolabi Brown is one of the strongest men I know. And he waded through it, through thick and thin. That say what you like. This is my home. This is my wife. This is how I... Moray, creating pathways, breaking the glass ceiling, leading the way, empowering girls everywhere, especially girls who do not have much hope. During the process, like I said, she faced so much criticism, personal attacks, personal abuse, threats, unfair most of the time, accusations and so on. I remember even some scandals. Some people say, why did you say? I met with them once or twice and I had to eat them. I think it was a good thing. There was no group thing. Some of them would go this way, some would go this way. That made it even more interesting. And over the years, you see, in any team, there must be a leader. And she was the leader of that team. And like I said, I respect all the beautiful ladies on the team, but I know that she had to be a leader. And this came again from her antecedents, from home. Remember, logical child. Because you don't know whether your child can say something careless somewhere and they come for you in the middle of the night. People were that scared. You can imagine when we had 5 political parties and we all had 1 presidential candidate. It's just happening for such a man or such a woman. What kind of woman would you call out to be? She now went out and married a man who was strong and who was determined and who supported. You won it. And you won the married vote as well. Leadership, what is leadership? Leadership is influence, leadership is vision and a mission. Leadership is underestimated, but the power of leadership can I announce? You guys, can you move? And they prayed for her. Look at the humility of the girl. She knelt down and let's go now. Prayed for her. I think we should announce
we're going to push you off.
Can you give way for now? Please give way for
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to specially recognize respectfully the presence of His Excellency, Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Dr. Kadi Afolabi Hamza. Now let's put our hands together for him. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for being a part of today's event. We acknowledge your presence and we do not take it for granted. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Dr. Kadi Afolabi Hamza. Thank you.
Relationships, because she knows how to manage old people. She has admonished me many times. She has told me I shouldn't do this or say this, or if I always ask her advice. My colleague is here. She knows I ask her advice at cabinet, but I ask Moray's advice when it comes to the world, because she knows what is happening and she's culturally sound. When her book was published, I watched it on Twitter and I was almost weeping. She carried it home and the first thing she did was, Mama, her mother-in-law, and Mama, her grandmother-in-law, please pray for me. And like I said before she came in, I always know when people are pretending. I talk a lot, so I'm reading the room. I can tell when people's energy is flagging and so on. I can tell when people are pretending. She was not developed over the years. And don't forget that these attributes are teachable, learnable, and you can continue to grow. So please continue to grow in the happiness of your home. Mr. Brown, Mr. Femi, thank you for taking care of her. Continue the journey. By God's grace, it will be long. I've been married 40 years. I'm sure you still have many years to go, by God's grace. And I hope you enjoy yourselves in health and prosperity. Don't let people tell you anything. She's great as she is. Let her be. And you too will enjoy it all.
That we don't read. Well, I don't know if that is true. But what I know is that the speed at which we write books is not the same in other parts of the world. I've been trying to write one for it's different disjointed forms all over the place. So I'm very happy to be here because of what Moray has done, putting our thoughts together. Because again, that's one thing that we need to always do. I was coming from an event, and a young man engaged me and was talking to me about our country. And he said that, why is it that we cannot do, in his word, a very good election in this country? And I said, well, define good election for me. So I said, first of all, you are a young man, I want you to be able to process information. Because what I notice is that we tend to just make up our minds. And especially you, the young ones, that if I have a different opinion, you don't want to agree, but we can argue this thing out. So I asked him that, so give me a place where you think it's a good election. He said, okay, for example, United Kingdom. I said, okay, so United Kingdom is a parliamentary election. What that means is that they break down election in each constituency, and that's it. That we are the only democracy in the world where the ballot that we use in Lagos is the same ballot that they will use in Kaura and Muda. The ballot that we use in Ibadan is what they will use all over. That is not the same like that everywhere, anywhere in the world. It's not like that in India. It's not like that in Bangladesh. It's not like that. But because we want to do uniformity, so the ability to process information, I think, is extremely good. And that's why I'm very pleased that this beautiful lady has put together her thoughts so that people can actually go through it and understand it. And, you know, I must congratulate you because my understanding is your view is 10 years, and to sustain it, it's an accomplishment. I've appeared on that show like I think 3-4 times, and I know the depth of your thoughts, and the fact that you also come up with the soft side of life, not just all the hard issues of life, the soft side of life. Because I saw that 2 days ago you were talking about polygamy, that so you talk about various aspects which are the realities of our life. So I want to congratulate you for sustaining that. You've made yourself the queen of television in Nigeria, and you've sustained that program. And like the former commissioner for education said, you are very cultural. You are respectful. You behave well, and I think that's something that a lot of young people should also emulate. So I want to congratulate you for your achievement on television as a mother, as a wife, to a very handsome man, and of course, as somebody that goes out there every day, and for you to actually comport yourself in such shape. So I want to congratulate you. I've not read the book, but I can assure you I will read it. You know, and I will make sure that I take you on, because I'm sure we will have some areas that we will disagree. So, but when I read it, I will call you up and we will discuss it. But I think that one of the things that is actually missing is ability for people to share their experiences in life. Okay, and I'm sure there are many people here that have done a lot of great things, because we amplify the worst things of our life in Nigeria. And that's why when His Royal Majesty, the 14th Emir of Kano, yesterday or so was talking, he said, we should not only comment when people do wrong things. We should also comment when they do the right things. So I think that was impressive, and that's why it's good to also document those things. So I want to congratulate you for everything you've done, for the book, for the show and for being a wonderful person that all of us here can come to honor. Thank you very much.
I go to see the before the season. Yeah. I go on the beach in my gun. I go out house, the
Thank
fish
you
in
very
my
much,
gun.
Your Excellency,
Tell
Deputy
me,
Governor of Lagos State,
this kind of
Dr. Kami Afolabi answer. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. The author and one that has also given us loads of inspirations and reasons to smile. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for that remark. Can we please put our hands together for him one more time? Thank you. While the Deputy Governor was speaking,
Good evening, everyone. Hello, everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Oluwadamilola Olaya, and I'm a friend of Moray Akabashoru. Sorry, Moray Brown, me Akabashoru, pardon me. And I'm one of our oldest friends, and it's a privilege to be here to read her book and just give you my 2 cents about it. So let me quickly delve into it. So I'll be reading from chapter 1. A foundation remains forever. On the 6th day of July 1980, a pretty baby girl was delivered safely at the famous St. Nicholas Hospital on Lagos Island. I would love to assume that my parents felt joy and relief in the work that day as congratulatory messages flowed in. The story surrounding my birth is quite an interesting one. I was born 12 years after my immediate elder brother, Shegun. Friends have often questioned me about the age gap. Was it because there was a longing for a girl? They wondered why I was born after it seemed like my parents had stopped having children. They already had 3 healthy boys. There was no fairy tale surrounding my arrival. And out of sheer respect and love for my father and the family, my mother waited until I was mature before telling me the story of my birth. She and my father had not had close marital relations for a while. So on that historic night of my conception, she was not totally involved in the process. A log of wood could have given more attention. A few weeks after that night, the silence that held the truth of what had happened gave way. My mother was pregnant, and as a result, my father never wanted that pregnancy because his new wife was not supposed to think or feel they were still having sexual relations with his first wife, my mother. What truly happened was that our golden uncle, Dr. Tune Goodluck, had just returned from Russia and had a brand new car. He got into an accident that restricted his movement. He was then encouraged to live with my father in Ilesomi in Surulere because our house then was a bungalow. Being the brilliant doctor who had just arrived from overseas, my father evacuated his bedroom for him to recuperate. My dad then moved into my mother's room, though their relationship had become strained. One could say the proximity to my mom was a factor. This development was tough for my parents to accept. Although my mother nursed the desire to have a girl, she did not want to have another child under the wings of her then circumstances. Her relationship with my father had become frosty. Over a decade had passed since her last child. My father was furious on hearing the news and wanted nothing to do with the child. He would have taken that night back if that was an option. But actions have consequences, and I was a consequence of a depressed and emotionally detached mother and a polygamist father. I was born on my mother's birthday, her treasure, her birthday gift, and the greatest compensation God could give a woman with marital difficulties. My father's anger was unabated at my birth, so he refused to attend my naming ceremony. His elder sister, the late Mrs. Adebi, popularly called Mommy Okibo, the late Pat Thompson, Auntie Banke Adebi Arokodari, and my brothers, Digo, Lai, and Shegun Akabasharu, were there. I'm unsure of who else was there, but I recognized those three people from the photos. The saying that blood is thicker than water is profound. I was about 3 years old when my father first set his eyes on me, and he loved me from the moment. I got lots of love from my father for a child who was initially unwanted. My mother, Mrs. Kudirat Atinuke Akabasharu Ni Fuja, owned several offices and shops at Akombo, one of Lagos Island's most commercially thriving spaces. Her father, the late Alhaji Teslim Abiodun Fuja, was the Ààrẹ of Lagos, a successful businessman famous for his damask fashion. My mother inherited her business acumen from him. My mother cared for me greatly, and as a successful businesswoman, she spoilt me silly. She taught me to be humble and considerate towards others, irrespective of who they were. She ensured that most days he worked till 5 p.m., driving to Yoruba Tennis Club and Atoniko before going home. As a prominent activist, he was always in the news. State security service were always on him during the military regime. News of his arrest or rumors of them searching for him became normal. Admittedly, there were scarier situations where my half-siblings were being stalked in school. As a child of a committed activist, I became politically aware at an early age. Everyone in the house knew of his dislike of General Babangida and the military. My father was a political force. His political views were highly regarded and respected. I still recall the period the iconic MKO Abiola was to run for president. Our house became the meeting point for interested parties to discuss the implications of this move. Amongst other religious and cultural values, our home stood on the foundations of intellectual superiority and scholarliness. A standard that my father set so high, he read the dailies religiously and ensured he initiated me into this ritual. Naturally, I fell in love with reading non-fiction books and novels under his influence. I read authors like Tom Clancy, John Grisham, and he would question me about them afterwards. Those experiences certainly had a strong impact on who I became. As a toddler, I lived in a suburban area of Lagos State called Elesomi before we moved to Bagada when I was about 4 years old. I attended Yaniwura Nursery and Primary School, but switched to Corona Primary School, Bagada. Growing up without my brothers, Diko, Lai, and Shegun, was depressing. I could have given anything to be with them. They left the country when I was 3 years old, and this left me with a feeling of abandonment. I felt like an only child living in a big house, hoping for someone to rescue me from the shackles of loneliness. My greatest desire was to see my brothers, but whenever I was asked my father to see them, he never treated it with the urgency I wanted. For him, I had to be closer to my roots. He wanted all of my brothers back home too. Attending the elite Corona Primary School meant I had well-traveled friends who visited cities like New York or London for summer holidays. My father did not care much about that. He insisted that we travel either within Nigeria or Africa. With me, he was not planning to make the same mistake he made with my brothers. He always grumbled about the brothers' reluctance to come back home. I also wondered, why did they not come home? Then in 1987, I think, one of my elder brothers, Shegun, came home, and I learned to be careful about what I wished for. I cannot recall the purpose of his visit, but I was super excited about it. Ultimately, the only memorable thing about this trip was the unforgettable beating he dished out to Dotto, my cousin, and me. That day, we begged God to take him back to London with the option of a return. My father was a disciplinarian, but many said he had grown soft by the time I was born. I heard frightening stories of how he dealt with my older siblings, especially brother Shegun. Considering all that I had heard, I would say I was lucky because I only got about 3 spanking lessons from him, and this was by far a slap in the wrist compared to my numerous transgressions. However, the beating that left a lasting impression on me happened just after his return from Ajashe, a town in the Republic of Benin, my father's second wife's hometown. As a custom, he returned with some local Ajashe biscuits, which I liked, and this trip was not an exception. So that morning, with my father still fatigued from his trip, I asked him if I could have some biscuits. With the assumption that my taste buds yearned for the local Ajashe biscuits only, he granted my wish. Unknown to me, I also had eyes for 2 boxes of McVitie's TUC crackers and shortbread biscuits he came with. This package was for a friend who had pleaded with my father to help him get them. To my credit, I did not eat the biscuits alone. I hosted a feast in that compound that day. The drivers, stewards, even our neighbors also tasted my generosity. I still remember the aftermath of my transgression. It was my father's row that woke me up the next morning. The way he screamed my name washed any trace of sleep off my face. The disgust his face wore when I told him how disposed of the biscuits was something I'd never seen before. Moray, are you trying to tell me that you took the entire pot and shared it? He was solo. During the week, I stayed in Bagada with my parents. Go to Solo to stay with Dada, my siblings, Folake and Tunde. I always wanted to go with him, but my mother preferred I stayed with her. Try as it did to ensure the entire system worked efficiently, there were often lapses. Simply put, involved. As a child, one of the most painful memories was that anytime my father returned from a trip, he was likely to stop first in a Solo because that house was closest to the airport. My time at the Corona Primary School ended abruptly. I enrolled for...
We're doing. We've not been as successful as... but we tried our best. And she worked hard. And she always had that passion, that this is what I want. It's important for you to discover what you want. And I know that there's somebody here, by this time next year, you'll be president of Africa. Nobody said amen. It's because the deputy governor is here, you're afraid. In the name of Jesus, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, I ask, oh Lord, that this book will be a sign and a symbol of your goodness, your grace, your mercy in the life of a young girl. I ask, oh Lord, that it shall speak your word, and a lot will be blessed, and their lives will be transformed. As this book has been transparently honest, may there be transparent honesty in our land, in our lives, and in our nation. In the name of Jesus Christ. As for you, Moray, you will prosper. You will do well. You will excel. You will succeed. You will not fail. Your lamp will not be dimmed. In the name of Jesus Christ. As for your husband, he'll continue to be the husband of a gracious lady. He himself will prosper. He will fulfill his dreams, and your children will be blessed. And for all of you who have come to be part of this occasion, you will not fail. You will not fall. God will support you. God will help you. You will fulfill your dreams, and your purposes will be established. I therefore dedicate this book in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. I pray for our state, Lagos State. I ask, oh Lord, that there will be peace and progress in this state. In the name of Jesus Christ. Thank you, precious Father. In Jesus' precious name we have prayed. God bless you all.
Well represented by an industrialist, business tycoon. Thank you very much. To read the speech, I'd like to respectfully invite and welcome Mr. Usman Okoya, who is going to be reading the speech on their behalf. Please put your hands together for him.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to recognize the governor, represented by the deputy. Today, we celebrate Moray's remarkable achievements, and Chief Okoya takes great pride in her success. In recognition of Moray's accomplishments, it is my privilege to announce that Chief Okoya has directed me to give a very handsome donation towards the launch of her book. This gesture exemplifies Chief Okoya's unwavering support for Moray and his commitment to encouraging and uplifting the achievements of those he holds dear. Once again, I express my heartfelt gratitude for the invitation extended to Chief Okoya and the family. We extend our warmest congratulations to Moray on this momentous occasion and wish her continued success for her future endeavors. Thank you.
All right, so ladies and Princess Sarah DBC Showsong, all our distinguished guests on the table of Afolabi would like you to please come forward as we are about to unveil this book, Becoming the Queen of Talk TV, put together by Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello?
Thank you, DJ.
Yeah, I thought this living in the name of Allah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
For various schools. So we take it to some schools. Just 10 copies. Thank you very much.
I want to put our hands together for His Excellency. Yes. So you can buy as many as you can decide to buy for your entire constituency. Yes, you can buy for your entire state. If you love your state, someone just buy. And everybody is going to be very happy about that. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I'd like to give the microphone to the representative of the Honorable Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. He's representing Honorable Mudashiru Obasa. Sir, yes, please, the microphone. Yes. Please, yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Right Honorable Dr. Mudashiru Ajayi Obasa, who will also be launching this book. However, I would not like to disclose the amount. However, but we are going to donate a very good sum of amount. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Yes, yes. Thank you so much, sir, for that beautiful one. I also like to respectfully have a lot of comprehensive list at this time. And trust me, when we get the full list, we are going to continue with the book launch. As we proceed at this time, I celebrate one man specially, And that is the husband of the author, the very great man, a man that loves his wife and that celebrates his wife perpetually. He celebrates his wife. All right. Become the queen of Talk TV. Okay, also to launch at this time, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. and Justice DG at DBE, Mr. and Honorable.
It strips me out of everything. There's nothing else you can say. It's not away. So the reason why, that's my singular thing I would like you to leave this place with. To know that, let us begin. For those of you who are going to be writing books after this, please know your real stories is what Nigerian young people need. Your real experiences is what we need to hear. So we can learn from it and they can truly know the depth of the experience God has given us through. With that, I'm going to thank everybody for being here. The party is just about to start. When I was worried about people coming or not coming, God said, Ryan, it's not about who is there or who is not there. It's about my glory. Just relax and enjoy your day. And that's everything I want you to do. Enjoy and relax. I'm going to go a break. I'm going to change my clothes now. When I come back, I'm going to be dancing inside. And I'd like you all to dance inside with me. I'm going to be celebrating and thanking God for an amazing 10 years. And I did not do it alone. I did it with other ladies of your view. Chokwe Bakodige, Mariam Longe, Obiajiru Ugo, Yannick, Kula Alikola Kobuti, Nima Akasha Zibiri, and other ladies, past and present ladies. They're all part of that show, and I'm grateful to God. Thank you so much for being here this evening. And for those of you that have launched, thank you for your support. Those of you who are still going to launch with me, thank you very much for your support. God bless you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, she deserves a better applause. Please put your hands together for her. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As she has said, the party is... Try as much as possible to give very critical and objective analysis all the time. And this they've been doing consistently for 10 years. To give a special tribute. I really want us to be seated so that everybody can enjoy this.
Everyone, good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Your Excellencies. No, we like to hype because we are talking to big people and they are very, very satisfied. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening, everyone. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you. So we wouldn't do this one after the other. We're used to being on a show where all of us are talking together. One is trying to talk, somebody else is taking the mic and thereabouts. We're not going to do it differently today, right?
No, not at all.
Yes. So, it's Moray celebration. But as you can see from the way we are dressing, it's our celebration.
Yes, our celebration.
And Moray is our sister. You know the way God works. She's an only child. She was actually in the book like she was an only child. She lived alone. But God prepared 6 other sisters ahead of her.
Sisters across Nigeria. Can you imagine that? Every corner of the country, she has a sister. So
So that's how God works, and we're so happy to be here to be celebrating with her. It's such a proud moment for us. Honestly, I know it's your celebration, Moray, but I really feel like it's my birthday today.
And I'm really excited because Moray has shown herself to be a compassionate leader. She's been a wonderful and selfless human being. She's been the glue holding the team together. You know, like when you say it's difficult for women to work together, with Moray, we don't feel like we are working. We are actually playing and having fun and making impact and earning money at the same time. She's a wonderful soul.
So, for me, Moray is someone that she's humble to a fault, you know. She's not going to say anything. She's always pushing everybody ahead. At every point in time, she wants everyone around her to shine. But today, it's all about Moray. As much as we are here and we're celebrating like it's our own day, we want every one of you that came out here to honor Moray to once again give a round of applause to celebrate Moray. Please understand this. For the past 10 years, she has given women a voice, you know, and she has stood in support of every one of us. Moray is our biggest cheerleader. If we're doing any project, she's there shouting and saying, you can do it. So today we are here to say, you've done it, Moray. You've done it. Well done. We celebrate you. We celebrate your leadership. We thank you. Please don't forget, this book isn't just about Moray's story. This book is about a journey. It's about success. It's about glory. It's about triumphing through challenges. And there's no better time to have a book like this than now. So it's not just about you reading it. Share it with someone. Give all the women around you, all the young ladies around you. Let them read this book and understand that there is no counting out.
Say something. So I would encourage each and every one of us to get a copy or copies. I've read a little bit of the book. She grabs you by your heart. She's so honest and vulnerable in this book. You know, there's a way we tell stories in Nigeria. It's not so common the way Moray has told her story. She hides nothing. She makes it clear so that on your own journey you realize that someone has been there and understands you and you're not alone. So please make sure you get your copy or copies. Thank you again for coming and let's keep having fun. Thank you, everyone.
Cares for me. She does anything that is necessary, and I love her so much. Thank you.
Same thing like I said. Yes. She's the best friend anyone can have. She's amazing, brilliant, and I love her so much.
Oh my God, put your hands together for them. That was beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen.
Report to Mr. Brown. So this is what happened. I thought it was important to share this story. So Brown, I was writing my book, as his friends mentioned, and I kept, because he's a lawyer, I kept telling him, Brown, please, read this book for me. He said, I beg. You know that his usual response, I beg. He never read it. I kept begging him, help me. When I now finally finished the book, I said, Brown, read this book. He didn't answer me. So I called his friend, Mr. Gabriel Arewele. I called my brother Dipo, my brother Shady. They read the book for me. But Brown still didn't read it. And they told me it was fine. And I went to print 1,000 copies. I went ahead. Still, my husband never read the book. I was supposed to do this launching in April because that was where the launching was supposed to be, but I had to move it to pieces. Like, you can't, first of all, grammatical error, plenty grammatical errors, and so many stories that he felt that, you know, there are better ways of telling that story. And he tore the book to pieces. Of course, I was angry. He said, after I printed 1,000 copies, forget it. He said, Mariel, I will pay for it. You cannot go out with that book. This one, as it is, cannot go outside because you have to present only that which is excellent. And because of that, I must acknowledge and thank Mr. Brown. Though I was angry that I had to destroy 1,000 books, but Brown came out and he paid for another 1,000 books himself.
Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, the party is about Dr. Moray, mo lọ ti mú ẹgbàgbé gbogbo ẹ̀. Ìbànújẹ́ kankan. Èèyàn lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ bèbí. Ṣé ẹni sọ̀rọ̀ wá? Láyé tí mo wí náà ọ̀gá tí mo tẹ̀ tó jẹ́. Dr. Moray, ṣé ẹni sọ̀rọ̀ wá? Yeyeyeye. Ọ̀gá tí mo tẹ̀ tó jẹ́. Mo fẹ́ yọ̀ gbogbo. Ọlọ́lá tí kò jẹ́ rẹ̀. Ẹ̀kí fọlá bí mi kù tí yóò sáà. Àmọ́ níwájú adájọ́. Ẹ̀kí fọlá bí mi kù.
láti mọ̀ fún lò. Èèyàn bá mi délé. Èèyàn bá mi délé yé mi ló máa gbé. Fọlábí mi kò tì ọlọ. Bọ́lá ọ̀lẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ tó jó. Abidele bẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ tó jó. Kílówí kílówí kílówí. Bẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ tó jó. Yéyéyé. Bẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ tó jó. Ayílẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ tó jó. Bẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ tó jó. Afolabi bẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ tó jó. Bẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ tó jó. Oyin biribiri oyin kan ẹ̀ o. Kọ́láyọ̀. Oyin biribiri oyin kan ẹ̀ o. Abidele. Oyin biribiri oyin kan ẹ̀ o. Afolabi Kuti àánú olúwa yìí kan ẹ̀ o. Láìdé kìlọ̀ wí náà. Oyin biribiri kan ẹ̀ o. Oyin biribiri kan ẹ̀ o. Oyin biribiri kan ẹ̀ o. Láìdé yìí wọ́n ti rọ́jú rẹ̀ rẹ̀ rẹ̀. Mọ́ráyọ̀, ènìyàn rẹ̀ ti ṣẹ́gun fún ẹ̀. Sórí àdúrà tí yóò gbà. Mọ́ráyọ̀ mi ní bàbá tí mo wá lẹ́ṣọ̀. Láìdé mo sì mọ̀ wípé ó sì ká sí àyà. Ewé tàgbà kẹwàá bá mi yọ. Ọlọ́run yẹn ló mi ti ní jọ. Adédọ̀yìn yẹn ní mọ̀mọ́dé. Bísí Adédọ̀yìn ọlọ́lọ́yẹ mo lọ́rọ̀ dẹ̀rẹ̀ dẹ̀rẹ̀. Ọlọ́lọ́wọ́ Bísí Adédọ̀yìn ọ̀yà ẹ̀wọ̀n kìlì gẹ́gẹ́ lórí àjí ìgbàtà kan. Ẹ̀wọ̀n kìlì gẹ́gẹ́ lórí àjí ìgbàtà kan. Ayé lówó jẹun òdíjẹ. Ẹ̀wọ̀n kìlì gẹ́gẹ́ lórí àjí ìgbàtà kan. Bísí Adédọ̀yìn ayé lówó jẹun òdíjẹ. Ẹ̀wọ̀n kìlì gẹ́gẹ́ lórí àjí ìgbàtà kan. Adédọ̀yìn kíkú má kọ̀tà ẹ̀ Adé orí orí. Ìwọ ń jayé orí ẹ̀. Láìdé èèyàn tó ló ayé èkújì. Adé orí orí. Ẹni láìdé bèbí mi. Adé orí orí. Adó orí gà. Adé orí orí. Ìsáyé nínú èyí ń dùn. Adé orí orí. Ìsáyé nínú èyí ń dùn. Adé orí orí. Adé orí orí. Adé orí. Láìdé lọ́mọ lọ́mọ láàrin èrò òrùmọ́dìyẹ láàrin àṣà. Láìdé onídọ́yọ̀ ọmọ ayé ẹ bá mi pàtẹ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Wọ́gẹ́ ní tí ń lọ sọ̀rọ̀ dájọ́ lọ́dún. Láìdé ohun tún ti dé o, ohun tún ti dé o. Láìdé èyí ohun tún ti dé o, ohun tún ti dé o. Ohun tún ti dé o, ohun tún ti dé o. Ohun tún ti dé o, ohun tún ti dé o. Oya Láìdé 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 olúwa ló ní Láìdé. Láìdé 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 olúwa ló ní Láìdé o. Láìdé 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 olúwa ló ní Láìdé. Láìdé 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 olúwa ló ní Láìdé o. Ọmọ rírì Láìdé bèbí mi nàìjíríà lè fún máa lọ sí. Láìdé 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 olúwa ló ní Láìdé. Ọmọ bíbí rẹ̀ ò ṣe fún ọ̀rá mi Láìdé. Láìdé 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 olúwa ló ní Láìdé. Latest love lady àṣìmáṣí ṣe ṣe lè yí. Láìdé 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 èèyàn tó lọ ayé ìfúnjì lọ́dọ̀ Láìdé 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 olúwa ló ní Láìdé. Láìdé 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 olúwa ló ní Láìdé. Láìdé máa tọ́ bí mo ṣe ń sọ fara ìyọ̀nù sọ. Kọ́kọ́rọ́ wọ́n ti ilẹ̀ dùn. Láìdé bákàlì ẹgbẹ́ yìí kẹ́ jòkójó. Ẹgbẹ́ yìí kẹ́ jòkójó. Ẹgbẹ́ yìí kẹ́ Láìdé ẹgbẹ́ yìí kẹ́ jòkójó. Ẹgbẹ́ yìí kẹ́. Láìdé sọ fún ọ̀kálùkù lóní tiẹ̀ lára. Níbi tó ti dá òfin ọ̀rọ̀ níṣẹ́ lónìí. Láyé nítorí gbogbo wọn pátá ní bọ́lá. Bámúbámú ẹni tílẹ̀ mọ́ bá di wàrà ọ̀rọ̀ kílẹ̀ wúrọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. Láìdé yá sọ fún ọ̀kẹ́ ránṣọ́ yìí ní tó kéde ọ̀. Like there's a one, ever more you feel that. Ever more you feel that. Only one day you won't feel like that. And one day you won't feel like that. Like the one day you won't feel like that. One day you won't feel like that. I'm on the wild. Like the baby, oh Lola. What did you love now? I'm on the wild. Like the baby, oh you want the theater. I'm on the wild. Shoo bam bam, and me to bow come back. Shoo bam bam, why don't I so? Why don't I so? Shoo bam bam, yeah shoo bam bam. Like the one show you Aborita, like the one show you Aborita.